Hello and welcome to the Hail Mary Joe 2 TD Scorer Show. I'm your host, Jose, and we're going to review Week 7, and we're going to give you our picks for Week 8, Thursday night. So I'm going to do the picks first, and then we'll review and we'll talk about some 2 TD scores and how it's going this year. It's not going great for me, but you know what? Things can change very quickly in this market. So here we go. For tonight's game, I have 2 players for 2 TDs, and I have a SGP for 1. I'm spending $1 on the singles, and I'm spending $1 on the single game parlay, so my wager is $3 today. Now remember, this is not financial advice. This is strictly what I'm doing, and if you do decide to gamble on games, please only gamble what you can afford to lose. That's the golden rule. Okay, so let's get it started with Chris Godwin for Tampa Bay. 2 TDs at 25-1. He's facing the 10th ranked pass defense. He has had a neck injury for the last 2 weeks, but he played last week. He was a full go, and I'll give you some stats about that game. And I expect him to be a full go this week. Okay, so in the last 2 weeks, he was limited to practice, like I said, but just like that, he's good to go. The last 3 games, he's been 20 for 30 for 257 yards and 0 TDs. Okay, he's had 0 TDs this year, but you know, for them to compete, for Tampa to compete in that division, they're 1 game behind Atlanta. Chris Godwin has to have a role and has to start scoring for them. They're just not going to do it with the offensive weapons that they have unless somebody else steps up and does their part. With regards to that, I mean, in Week 7, he was 6 for 12 for 66 yards. He was 29% of the target share, and he had 2 red zone targets. So you know what? They're trying to get him involved, and I believe that this week he will have some involvement in the red zone, and hopefully he's going to give us some success for it. So, you know, the second player that I have in the game is going to be James Cook. For 2 TDs at 7.5-1. He's facing the 10th ranked defense, but you know, last 3 games he's rushed 32 times for 123 yards. He caught 6 for 7 for 71 yards and 1 TDs. But that 1 TD came in the last game, and in the last game he was 13 for 58 yards rushing, and he caught 3 for 3 for 46 yards with that 1 TD. So it was a receiving TD. Not only that, he had the most carries, the most yards, and the most catches for a running back. So I believe that, you know, they're going to have to get him involved and used more, especially in the red zone, to save Josh Allen from getting hit and everything else. And he's going to be a little good dink-dunk, and off you go, off into the red zone, and going to make us some money. So the SGP on these 2 players, Chris Godwin for 2 and James Cook for 2, are paying 160-1. So that's what I'm spending my $3 on. Please note, this is not financial advice. This is strictly what I'm doing. With regards to 2 TD scores, just to let you know, at approximately over 60% of the games have been unders, which tells you that, you know, you can still win if you have the right players. Unfortunately, I haven't had great luck in doing that, but you know what? I'm still trying. So here we go. With regards to that, last week there were a total of 6 2 TD scores and 1 3 TD scores. Now, just as an example of what I was saying with regard to that, Monday night's game had San Francisco at Minnesota. The final score was 17-22. It was an unders game. With regards to that, there were 2 players on that game. CMC, Christian McCaffrey, had 2 touchdowns, and wide receiver, that was for San Francisco, and wide receiver Jordan Addison for Minnesota had 2 touchdowns. So they had 2 out of the 6 2 TDs, and it just shows you that some games, just because there's low scoring points, doesn't mean that there can't be 2 TD scores from it. It happened a lot, it has happened a lot, and it can happen in the future, and will happen in the future. As regards to how many teams have 2 touchdown scores, in the AFC there's a total of 10 teams that had 2 touchdown scores. Baltimore with 5, Miami with 5, Jacksonville with 3. Now some of them could be in the same game. You know, Miami did have quite a success between a chain and Mozart at one point, putting in 2 touchdowns each or 3. I mean, they've had several. But just to show you that, you know, Baltimore, Miami, and Jacksonville are 3 very good teams. So with regards to that, let's have a look at the NFC side. Now, the NFC side has had 12 teams, so 2 more than the AFC. But if you look at their top 3 2 TDs or more scores that they've had, you've had San Francisco with 4, you've had Green Bay with 3, and Chicago with 3. Now, Green Bay and Chicago are not the best of teams this year. San Francisco, yeah, they're top tier teams, but they haven't been playing so great in the last couple of weeks. But you know what? It just shows you that, bad teams do get 2 TD scores. Good teams do too. Not always. Depends how many people they got to spread around the ball to and everything else. But I just want to bring that up just to tell you that it's a long, hard-fought battle throughout the year. I told you that at the beginning of the year. These are not easy bets to hit. And at the end of the day, we're going to try and keep on hitting them. So please enjoy Thursday night's game. Please bet responsibly if you do decide to gamble. And whatever you take notice about me talking about 2D scores, this is not financial advice. This is what I'm doing and only what I'm doing. Please enjoy the game, bet responsibly, and have a great one. And I'll see you for Saturday or early Sunday morning with regards to my Sunday morning picks, or Sunday game picks and Monday game picks. All the best. Enjoy.